Anthony and I podcast. We are back again on this episode. We are talking about day 13, closing arguments in the Ghislaine Maxwell trial, jury deliberations, and the government just released a slew of images and video of the raid on Epstein's West Palm Beach home. We'll get into all of it. Third woman accuses Chris Noth, and he gets dropped by his agency. Donald Trump is suing Letitia James. Whamageddon update. We'll see if J-Sabs is still in. The NYPD Lap Dance that is heard around the world, I guess you can say.
Or it will be when we're
Huge
done with it.
trending story right now. We had our friend's Christmas party from over the weekend. We'll recap. We have to hurry about Frank's umbrella. And we're doing a Christmas FESTIVUS special. More on that coming up.
Yes.
Podcast brought to you by our good pals over at JUMPSTART Coffee Company. Order with the link in the description below. Use the promo code AOA15. Frankie C is in the house. How you doing, my friend?
Hanging in there, my man. What's going on?
So, recap for today, closing arguments. Again, cannot believe that we're getting through this trial so quickly.
Day 13, and they're closing it up.
13, and they're closing it up when they thought it was going to be a 6-week trial. Even closing arguments, I thought perhaps would go an entire day. It did not. It was about 6 hours, though. 6 hours of closing arguments. That's a lot.
That's almost a full day.
That is pretty much a full day. But the Judge Allison Nathan, did turn it over to the jury for deliberation. So let's get into what the closing argument said. Allison Moe gave a methodical closing argument. Their basic angle was that not only did Ghislaine Maxwell know about Jeffrey Epstein and what he was doing to teenage girls, but her participation in his trafficking scheme was motivated by money and maintaining a luxurious lifestyle. She gave methodical closing arguments. As I said, the sex trafficking trial that came to a close today knitted together a complex case involving the testimony of 4 accusers and evidence, including financial records. Prosecutor Allison Moe cited bank records introduced at the trial that showed Miss Maxwell received $30.7 million from Epstein between 1999 and 2007, which covers part of the period in which she had been charged with helping him to recruit, groom, and abuse young teenagers. Miss Moe told jurors, "Your common sense tells you don't give someone $30 million unless they're giving you exactly what you want, and what Epstein wanted was to be with underage girls." Kind of a great statement on her part.
Yeah.
You know,
It's hard to argue that.
it is really hard to argue that, because if you're going to go under the guise of, oh, she was the property manager, property managers don't make $30 million. No. I mean, even if you're going to pay them a lot, $30 million is still a ludicrous amount of money.
Yeah.
Yeah,
this is not clean money. This is dirty money.
Right. She continued with the jury. When Maxwell took that money, she knew what it was for, and now you do too. Prosecutors have been trying to make this argument during opening statements last month, but not so directly as Ms. Moe did in her crisp 2-hour summation that placed Ms. Maxwell at the heart of Mr. Epstein's trafficking scheme and offered the jury a rationale for her conduct. Ms. Moe said, quote, "Maxwell was the key to the whole operation. He didn't have to hide it from Maxwell because she was in on the whole thing." This closing argument was part of a full day of scheduled arguments in the federal court down in Manhattan. It was followed by Miss Maxwell's attorney, Laura Menninger. We'll get into that later on. Just a reminder, 6 counts, including 2 related to sex trafficking and 4 related to allegations she conspired in a scheme to entice and transport underage girls to Mr. Epstein for abuse. So that kind of is the definition of trafficking. I don't know why there's 2 split and 4 in another direction, but
yeah, I mean,
just a reminder that that's what it is.
Yeah.
Miss Moe continued that Maxwell was a sophisticated predator who knew exactly what she was doing. She manipulated her victims and groomed them for abuse. While it would be disturbing for an older man like Epstein to forge a relationship with girls, the presence of Miss Maxwell, a posh, smiling, age-appropriate woman, gave him the cover that he needed. It lures them into a trap, she said. for
Do we
the
know? Go ahead.
go ahead.
Do we know the split on the closing arguments? Like who took how much time?
Yeah, Mo was about 2 hours. Then the government went. I think I have it in my notes, and then there was a brief rebuttal from the prosecution again. So I'll take you through all of that. Um, what the defense basically said in their closing argument was that prosecutors cherry picked evidence, blindly accepted the shifting accounts of accusers, and had not proven its case against Ghislaine Maxwell. Laura Menninger was the one who handled the closing arguments for the defense. She urged jurors to reject the government's arguments and to be skeptical of evidence that she called thin, a witness testimony that she referred to as flimsy. I quote here Ms. Menninger, the government wants you to speculate over and over. Ms. Maxwell does not have to prove her innocence to you. You already know it. Pretty bold statement, actually, to say, to be like, you guys already know she's innocent.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. Come on, you guys got it right. I don't have to say much here.
Yeah.
Dude.
Ms. Menninger actually did take aim at Epstein, whom she said the trial had proven to be a master manipulator. Everyone knew Epstein, quote, everyone knew Jeffrey was keeping secrets from Ghislaine, except Ghislaine. Ms. Menninger said, noting that the household staff and pilots had concealed Mr. Epstein's other girlfriends from Miss Maxwell. Near the end of her closing argument, Menninger said that Miss Maxwell was on trial because of her relationship with Epstein. Maybe that was the biggest mistake of her life, but it was not a crime, she said. Miss Menninger spent the bulk of her 2-hour and 15-minute closing walking the jury through the testimony of the four women who took the stand accusing Miss Maxwell of grooming them. She pointed out inconsistencies in their testimony, particularly where it did not align with their previous statements. Again, just kind of going back to that same well again, right, that we talked about a whole bunch of times. She also focused on the financial settlements the witnesses had received from Mr. Epstein's estate. She described the lawyer of one victim as no dummy, saying that after Mr. Epstein was dead, the lawyer knew that there was a pile of cash to pursue for his client. Ms. Menninger posed the question. All these witnesses have changed their stories many times. Why? She also argued the government's case rested on an erroneous memory of four women. She relied on the testimony of one defense witness, an expert who testified about the malleability of memory, saying that memory weakens over time and memory can be impacted and corrupted by post-event contamination. How vivid a memory seems does not make it more accurate, she said in court. Ms. Menninger attacked the credibility of the government witnesses as well. She described one witness, a former employee who described Ms. Maxwell as the lady of the house, who set the rules for Mr. Epstein's home, as a two-time burglar, obviously with an axe to grind. He's referring to Mr. Alessi on that account. She pointed out felony convictions and drug use of another witness and the former boyfriend of one of the accusers. She also pushed back sharply against the prosecution's contention in opening statements and closing arguments that Miss Maxwell's participation in Mr. Epstein's scheme was motivated by money and maintaining her luxury lifestyle. I said she got the $30.7 million between 1999 and 2007. She said about this, the government makes a big show of these big dollar transfers. That is thin testimony. She said the prosecution was asking the jury to speculate. Speculation is not evidence, she said, and I quote, Ms. Menninger, Ms. Maxwell knew that these transfers were being made in her name.
Well, here's my
I'm sorry, she said it was not even clear that Ms. Maxwell knew these transfers were being made in her name.
Here's my question. Now, they say, the defense was saying that their memory, was, I guess, altered, from post-event trauma or post-event something.
Right. That all the media and the articles that have been written and the interviews and things that these people have done.
Well, the question is, what event? Like that implies that an event, that they were actually there, and that.
Right. Well, I don't think they're denying that these people knew Epstein.
Why would they be there? Why would there be a 14-year-old girl there at all?
Because he was paying for her education, Frank. Kind-hearted fellow. I'm with you, man. That's just
I mean,
that's their argument. He's just a wealthy philanthropist who paid for people's education or, you know, funded their artwork or whatever he was
So,
doing. And
so their whole thing, their whole case was balancing on Jeffrey Epstein's credibility as not a giant scumbag.
well, that and also that he was a manipulator, but that she wasn't in on it. Like that's why they even went as far as to say, well, she got $30.7 million, but she didn't even know. It's not. We're not even sure if she even knew she was getting that money
All
because
right.
he
Well,
manipulated her, and he had other girlfriends, and there was all these things that he was doing without Maxwell knowing. She was just the innocent running
but
the house person.
but if he was manipulating, then that pulls into question the girls that were there. I mean, obviously they're and you know if this stuff took place, then that gives credibility to their testimony. You see how it's like the snake eating its own. It's like yeah, he was a scumbag, which just feeds the idea that these women are telling the truth. If he was this up and up guy, and that's the defense they were going with, like, oh, he was, perfectly innocent man.
Well, no, I don't think they were going for that. I don't think they were saying he was perfectly innocent as much as they were saying whatever bad he was doing, Ghislaine had nothing to do with.
No, I get that, but like, if they're trying to undermine the testimony of these women,
Right.
it doesn't. They're kind of proving the testimony of.
I see what you're saying because there had to be some sort of event to be manipulated, which would thus prove there was
that something shitty went on there.
Something shady went on
which
regardless.
Makes their testimony valid.
Which makes their testimony valid, but doesn't necessarily. I mean, yes,
No, I know, but it maybe it doesn't go from A to C, but it goes from A to B, and B goes to C. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like,
but the contaminated part was that Ghislaine was involved. I think is their point. Is that yes, that part is true that he was scummy to them, but this idea that Ghislaine was involved is.
Oh yeah, she just hung around him all the time, and
that's
no idea. This allegedly brilliant woman had no idea what was going on.
Right.
Yeah, okay.
So the defense would say, even though you can believe this girl and maybe even something bad did happen to her, the fact that she's blaming Ghislaine is where their memory was misconstrued.
Oh, that they got everything else right, but Ghislaine they got wrong.
That's the 20% they messed up.
Okay, got it.
That's what I think that they would concede to.
Yeah. Okay. Everything else is accurate, but this one detail, I could be altered in every way. I don't know.
Yeah. So after Laura Menninger went, there was a 30-minute rebuttal from Maureen Comey. This is James Comey's daughter. This case is about Ghislaine Maxwell. She told the jury, she centered her rebuttal on what she called the core of the defense's argument that you can't believe the four women you heard from. She said, and I quote, "The defense is desperate for you to not believe those women. If you believe those women, the defendant is guilty." Ms. Comey said that Ms. Maxwell's lawyer Laura Menninger, in her closing earlier today, had thrown doubts and arguments at the wall to, quote, see if they will stick. Ms. Comey sounded a note of skepticism about the defense's argument that Ms. Maxwell did not know Jeffrey Epstein had abused these girls, saying, quote, she just didn't know that her boyfriend and best friend for more than a decade had a thing for teenage girls. She's basically making the argument that you were kind of just making. Like, they were all there. How could you not, it's like if you had a crew and somebody robbed the bank and they were able to prove that every one of your crew members was there. You know what I'm saying? And eyewitnesses saw you there, but you're going, yeah, but just because they took the money doesn't mean.
Yeah, I don't know what you're talking about. Yeah,
I don't know what you're talking about.
Come on. God. My whole argument would have been, come on.
Right. I think that's kind of.
Come on.
This is a very expensive, sophisticated. Come on. That's what they're paying.
This is fucked up, and we all know it's fucked up.
Yeah.
You know how to rule here. Let's go.
Yeah. Ms. Comey also ridiculed the defense's argument that the witnesses' memories of the abuse were implanted into their brains by media, greedy civil lawyers, and the FBI. There was also no indication, Ms. Comey said, that the accusers followed media coverage of Epstein's case. Quote, not a single witness at this trial suggested for even a moment that the FBI told them what to say. In addition, she noted that the civil settlements the witnesses received from the Epstein estate had been awarded before the trial opened. Each woman had a different lawyer. So, for the defense's theory that the women were motivated by money to be true, all the lawyers would have had to convince their clients to perjure themselves at trial to secure settlements they had already gotten.
Yeah, yeah, right. That's true.
Yeah.
They already got the money.
Yeah.
They don't have to show, they don't have to show up and be a witness.
That is a good point. I think the rebuttal was strong. I think the closing argument sounded really good. It definitely sounds like the defense is fishing. Yes, the defense is fishing. Why do I still feel like she's going to be
I know.
spending Christmas at home with her family?
You know, all the defense has to do is go, no, she wasn't there, and they somehow think that that's creating doubt. It's like, no, just because the defense says they had nothing to do with it is not doubt. That's just them saying they didn't do it. You have to have some kind of evidence for doubt, like a reasonable doubt. It has to be. It can't just be Maxwell and her attorneys going, no, we didn't have anything to do with it. That's not doubt. That's not reasonable doubt. That's just them defending themselves. But there's nothing that I've heard in this trial that makes any kind of reasonable doubt, any kind of doubt reasonable. Do you know what I mean? It just makes it, the only doubt they've come across with is them going, no, I didn't,
Right.
That's the only thing to prove that she's, is just her word. No, I don't know what you're talking about.
I'm hopeful, but still concerned. Still greatly concerned.
I know.
So the judge turned it over to the jury. So deliberations have already begun. Right. Now, I think it was 30-some witnesses, maybe 25, between 25 and 30 witnesses. 13 days, opening and closing arguments included in that. I don't know if we're going to have, you think we're going to have a verdict tomorrow? I don't know. I mean, we'll have a show. We'll have a recap tomorrow. I mean, it could just entirely be jury deliberations.
I think the longer this one takes, the worse the better Ghislaine her chances will be. I think if they come back tomorrow with something, it's going to be guilty. I think
it's going to be guilty quick.
Yeah, because it's going to take. I feel like it's going to take more. I feel like more people would go towards conviction in this case, and there's more of a chance of everybody saying that than everybody saying not guilty. I feel like to get all 12 of them to go not guilty would take a long time than just one day.
Well, we'll see. We're filming our special tomorrow. We're going to talk more about that at the end of the podcast. So stick around for that if you want to be on the show with us.
You could be on the show. This is your chance to be a part of Anthony on Air.
Yeah, it's going to be very fun. So we're doing that tomorrow too. But again, if we'll have a recap that will be airing tomorrow. So stick around for that. So again, make sure you're subscribed. YouTube, Facebook, Spotify, whatever the fuck. Apple Podcasts, all
that stuff.
AnthonyOnAir.com has all the links. The government released Epstein video and some of the other evidence that was also released. Let's talk about that right after JUMPSTART Coffee Company, our great, lovely sponsors, gave the coffee to my parents.
Mm-hmm.
They loved it.
Nice.
They were all about it, loving it up.
Beautiful thing.
Yeah, I mean, I can't. I'm starting to lose track of all the nice things that people are saying.
It's all good stuff. I mean, it's such a straightforward product. It's great coffee with a great side note of half the proceeds go to the Navy SEAL Foundation. It's
wonderful.
Very straightforward in its greatness.
Navy SEAL Foundation obviously helps the Navy SEALs, veterans, and their families. So extraordinary cause right there. And like Frank said, great coffee. I love the comment that somebody said it was cheaper than some of the coffee that they had locally by them.
Yeah,
which is great.
And not to mention 15% off.
15% off when you use the promo code AOA15. That's AOA15. Purchase with the link in the description below or click the banner on the homepage of AnthonyOnAir.com. J-Sabs joins us quickly here on the Epstein video. So this video, Frank, that the government just released was also released back in 2019.
Oh,
and
so this is old news.
It's a little bit of old news, but they also released a bunch of new exhibits, photographs that honestly, if I were to show you, we would have some explaining to do to all of the outlets that we are released on, YouTube and Facebook and all that.
Yeah, let's not show them.
So I've put a link to it in the description below, which is part of the problem these days. If I show it to you, we get in trouble. If I put a link in the description and you click on it and look at it yourself, it's just fine.
That's
so
weird.
That stuff is linked down below. The video footage, I'm not going to lie to you, it's not as thrilling and amazing as you would think it would be, but it definitely gives you an insight into some of the things that go on there.
Right.
There are some perverse and disgusting things.
It's like an hour, right?
Sign me up.
There's pictures.
No, it's not that kind of. It's not good perverse. I don't
There's
think.
not good perverse. There's naked pictures.
Mhm.
The twin torpedoes. There's pictures of that, which is kind of gross when you think about what it was used for. So all that stuff. Link in the description below if you want to see that. So that's that.
Yeah, we'll leave that up to you.
Chris Noth, third woman, J-Sabs,
Not great.
Dropped from his representatives. Dropped him.
Crazy. His agency was like, bye.
Yeah.
Isn't that crazy?
So this third woman, what is she saying? Same kind of deal, harassment, or
yeah.
or something worse?
No, it's.
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
I was gonna say it seems like the same kind of thing, but what I was gonna say was with the other two, supposedly they didn't know each other, didn't know that they were gonna say these things, and they both had similar stories. So I don't know.
So they both happened to come forward at the same time, not be. One didn't influence the other to be able to come out and say something.
Supposedly, as the reporting has gone,
wow,
so far, they
That's
do not
odd, right?
know each other.
No, I believe that they didn't know each other, but like, did one come forward and then that kind of gave the other woman courage to come
Like a
forward,
push
or they just happened to come forward at the same time?
As I know it, they came at the same time.
That's what she said.
Great. Oh.
That never happens, but go ahead.
That's not true.
That's not true.
That's not true. You're right. You're right.
Yeah. So, and now his talent agency has dropped him.
All right. So now this third woman, again, what is she claiming? Do we know?
Oh shit! I just lost it. Sorry.
That's what she said. I don't know, man. Supposedly, his wife is very upset. And she doesn't believe it. She doesn't believe it.
I can't imagine. Of course, she's gonna support her husband,
right?
But I can't imagine what she would be going through right now. But I can't imagine what these three women are going through.
Yeah, I mean, he says this is all false. These stories could have been from 30 years ago or 30 days ago. He said the encounters were consensual.
Right.
Yeah, I mean.
The thing is,
yeah,
I know I don't know why I'm even bringing this up or comparing, but when he was on Sex in the City, it was big that he was big. And he met his wife during that time and married her, where he could have had his, pick of the pea, and he didn't. He stuck with this one. So I don't know. That
loyal dude.
Yeah,
good dude.
He is.
The women who accused Noth were identified in the Hollywood Reporter's report with pseudonyms as a 31-year-old journalist and a 40-year-old who works in the entertainment industry. They approached the publications separately, months apart, and do not know each other. The entertainment industry professional accused Noth of, in 2004, and she was 25. And her story was corroborated by at least 3 people in the report. According to the Hollywood Reporter, she told staff at Cedars-Sinai Medical Center that she had been assaulted, and 2 police officers came, but she did not identify the person who it was. The journalist told the Hollywood Reporter that pretty forcibly he had sex with her after a date in New York in 2015 when she was also 25, while Noth was Noth or Noth? What do you say? Noth was married. A friend corroborated her story, and the woman provided to the Hollywood Reporter text messages from Noth following the alleged incident. Los Angeles Police Department is still looking into the nature of the report. We'll see.
We'll see.
This is rough.
It's rough because like we just did this with the Barstool guy, Portnoy.
Yeah, exactly.
And all of the people that were accusing him fell apart rather quickly.
How did that fall apart? I don't remember.
Because the way they shaped it like he did horrific things to these girls,
Right.
But it was all. If you really read the article, if you really read the accusing article, none of it said that it was not consensual.
Right.
But the way that they positioned everything made it appear to be consensual.
But
and then he showed text messages from one of the girls afterwards, talking about what a great time she had and whatever, and she misses him and all this shit.
And wanted to hang out again.
That was one, so that got thrown out. And then I forget what the other one was too, but there was a lot of write-ups on that the next day when he said, oh, I have this. It was something. He had more text messages or emails or some. I forget what it was. But anyway, it fell apart rather quickly. And then they figured out that the people who run, forget who wrote it. Business Insider.
Yeah.
Have a similar type of a company called Morning Brew, which could only benefit from seeing Barstool's stock drop. And then also they tried to pick apart their advertisers.
Right. Oh, God.
They sent the article to their advertisers. I was like, did you guys see this? Are you still going to support this company when they were like one of the people that would benefit?
Right.
And then an article came out a couple days later that the guy who started Business Insider was, I forget where he got thrown out of, but he was embezzling money from people. So it's some shady ass shit going on.
Gotta love Hollywood.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. When we get an update, J-Sabs, are you still in?
I'm still in.
That's crazy.
I know. You know what? I don't know why I haven't heard it. Maybe this is the one thing going for me this season. But more on that later.
Oh, boy.
All right, but you're still in as of right now.
I still am.
Yeah, that's amazing. You only have 4 more days to go before you win Whamageddon.
I know.
I would love to know from people that are also been watching and listening to us.
Everybody
are you still
in? Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm on the edge of my seat to see what I'm going to win. Edge of my seat.
Yeah.
Free vaccination.
No thanks.
Former President Trump is suing the New York Attorney General LETITIA James. She is trying to get him to. She's basically been hinting that she's going to get him to testify into an inquiry into his business. Donald Trump filed a lawsuit today against LETITIA James, seeking to halt her long-running civil inquiry into his business practices and to bar her from participating in a separate criminal investigation. The suit filed in federal court in Albany by Mr. Trump and his family real estate business argued that Ms. James' involvement in both inquiries was entirely politically motivated, a tack that Mr. Trump has deployed in the past when faced with scrutiny by law enforcement and others.
I love how that if you're a politician, all of a sudden everything's politically motivated. Can it just be that you're famous and they're attacking you?
Oh, because he's famous, they're attacking him?
He's famous and he has some shady shit going on at his company. Can't that be why they're investigating you?
Who knows? You know what, Frank? I want you to be a politician.
I do not want to be a politician. No, thank you.
You couldn't do it.
I wouldn't want to. It does not seem like a a good life.
Right.
I don't know.
Plus, you need to be an alien to be a politician. So
Right. I'm not reptilian.
okay.
It's not a good life because, to be honest with you, you don't make enough money.
No,
Unless
definitely
you're,
not.
Unless you're crooked.
Exactly. You got to go out of the lines to make things here
And-
and there and speeches and all that bullshit.
Right. You know what's got to be so annoying? People who know you in your neighborhood constantly. Hey man, I got a question for you. Do you think you could do this for me? It's got to happen 10 times a day. Like, how annoying would that be?
Yeah.
Like, do what?
Like, hey, can you help with this problem in my neighborhood? Can you help with the rats? I don't know. Just like all different things, garbage pickup, naming streets, like all just stupid
I guess
things.
that depends on who you are and what your position is. Like, if you're a senator, no one's gonna call you for rats in the neighborhood.
No,
You want to bet?
Well,
I don't know. Maybe.
I think your problems change, but you're basically facing questions on how you can help people all day.
Yeah.
long.
Well, yeah. Well, that's the job.
That's
That's
the job.
fine.
Right.
That if you're into, that's 99% of the job. How
But
can you
what's
help?
messed up is
citizens?
those lower end people, the city council members and all these people that are literally dealing with rats and potholes, and they get paid the least.
Yeah. I know someone who is or was a councilman. So it's
Well, they have a smaller area to deal with. That's why they get paid the least. Like if you're dealing with
I
one town
mean,
as opposed to a state, that's different.
I
don't
remember
know.
when I got out of college, I got interviewed by a politician in Whitestone to do.
They interviewed you.
Yeah,
to-
why?
for
They
a
were
job.
desperate.
But what?
Go
Oh,
ahead.
okay.
No.
I thought it was like an interview. Like, no
I was-
offense, but who the fuck?
Can't stand you people. I was doing because I had already interned for the Islanders, so I had media relations experience, and I was sending resumes out. This guy calls me up and he has me in for an interview, and he tells me, and this was 2004.
He tells you they would have taken you, but it's the Islanders.
No, I mean, he tells me how much the job pay. I swear to God, I think it was like 21,000 or something.
I was just gonna say 21,000.
Wow.
I swear to you, I was gonna say that.
And I remember my response was, "Is that even legal?" I'm like, I don't even know if that's minimum wage, guy. Like, I'm not even sure if what you're doing is okay. And, like, that's how little that paid. And I was kind of like, how are you running an office? Like, who's
Yeah, I
going to
know.
take this job?
Is it one? Yeah, that's like if you're an intern, but like a paid intern, you probably make that.
Yeah.
Yeah. And this is what this is the staff. This is how much money these people have to run their.
And they
Nothing.
do.
They have
do
nothing.
all the legwork, and most of the time, the higher ups are just the face, and they have to just be out there in the front
Yeah.
as like the front man or the front
Right.
woman, and the people in the background that doing everything. Like when they have these gigantic laws that are like this thick,
That's
it's
what she said.
it's the background people that are all reading that shit. It's not like the main guy or the main woman is reading it.
Senators and Congress, they are not reading.
They
that
have all
stuff
their
at
helpers
all.
reading it, and they gist it for them.
Yeah.
Yeah, so,
Which is crazy.
Yeah.
Which just goes to show you got to be charismatic to be elected, because if those people had any charisma, they'd be in those seats.
Yeah.
Instead of just doing all the legwork.
that's the truth.
But there's certain people that they kind of like that kind of thing. I don't even know.
People are made for it, and that's what they like to do. Not
Let's
me.
talk about this NYPD lap dance. Again, if you want to see this video, link in the description below. This is as rigorous as a lap dance as I have ever seen.
You think so?
I mean, it is up there with lap dance pro. Like, you name it. Like, who's the one? Cardi B? You ever see her
Yeah.
old lap dance videos?
So this is a cop giving her superior a lap dance.
This is a rookie cop.
I see nothing wrong with this.
Wow. This is a rookie cop.
She's kidding. She's kidding. She's kidding. For people who are listening, she rolled her eyes.
A rookie cop who gave a lap dance to her boss was caught on video at a Christmas party, holiday party.
See, some shit goes down, and we have to ask our friend about this. But go ahead.
I bet there was an all points bulletin.
Well, I want our friend to know I specifically did not ask him about this because I don't want him being dragged into any sort of part of like giving an opinion on. I don't even know if he could comment on this publicly.
Maybe not. I wouldn't.
Oh, not publicly, like between us.
Oh, between us, yeah.
Yeah.
But the lieutenant is Lieutenant Nick McGarry. It took place in a Yonkers bar, which nothing in Yonkers could be good.
It's a pizza.
Yeah.
That certain place. I'm
I
forgetting
never
the name.
had pizza in Yonkers.
But it was it was a lap dance, and it turns out he's married.
What was this? Was this like a part? What kind of party?
Christmas party.
Christmas
Oh, it was
party.
a Christmas party. Okay. Wasn't
He's
like a
married.
bachelor party. Yeah.
So the media gets a handle of this,
Hmm.
and they find out who the lieutenant is, and they start like camping out in front of his house, and then his poor wife is freaking out and lashing out,
Oh yeah, I saw this.
like screaming at people and everything. I mean, this was on the back page of the Post. This was basically everywhere, and these reporters were asking this woman about this, and she was
She's
screaming.
like, I have no idea.
Oh yeah, she went nuts.
No, she went nuts. She flipped out on them.
On the media for asking about it?
Reporters. Yeah.
All right.
Well, I mean, think of it. Could you imagine, Frank, if you fucking wake up and you'll look at the paper and there is your wife giving some dude a lap dance, and then you lower the paper and right out your window you can see a reporter staring back at you, ready to ask you.
You know,
fucking
I
questions.
went nuts.
I gotta tell you, I wouldn't go to them first. I'd be like, honey, we need to talk about something. Would you mind coming in here?
I'm saying though, you might not be able to keep it all together. Right? One
No,
right after the other.
That's true. I might overreact, but or appropriately react.
It's kind you know what? I think that it's kind of weird that they went to the house because it's not like they are famous or celebrities. I just think it's like a cop. You know what I mean? I don't know. Maybe they just thought the video was so great. Her
the
lap dance was so
statement-
great.
If they make a statement, it's gonna be whatever. Like if the
It's
three
gonna be
of us,
boring. Right.
maybe, but no. If the three of us are different news organizations, and I'm the only one that doesn't show up, and you two get a statement from the wife or the cop or whoever, I'm gonna look like So everybody goes and shows up and and tries to get a statement.
Well, and I think that the fact that they're cops has very little to do with this. I think it's more of it's easier because we know cops, right? We know rookie cop and lieutenant. That's an easy distinction. It would be the same thing if you had some other sort, if you knew like the
A
new
boss, a
secretary
CEO, and
Oh.
and the CEO.
Oh.
I think it would be the same.
the secretary's the guy in this scenario.
I think that it's just I think we love this type of a story because we've all been to holiday parties where some shit went down and you're like, I don't know about this. And now it's playing out in real life in the news and people can like relate to it.
Yeah,
and
it's like
talk about it
it's like a fantasy.
gossip about it.
Yeah.
Well, all
Not
right,
for the wife.
fantasy's the word you chose to use. I didn't.
Okay,
use that
maybe.
word.
It's also I don't know.
Don't worry, I'll
an
get
HR
eaten up and
nightmare.
alive in the comments now too for that. What?
It's also an HR nightmare. I'm sure.
Yeah.
They're both gonna
And
probably.
a PR nightmare.
How many?
And
I can't say that Janine has done this, but I'm sure she's done something she's not too proud of at a Christmas party.
Making big assumptions there, Janine.
Yeah.
I played the fifth.
Yeah. Okay. That's fine.
Nothing crazy because I was always with my husband, obviously.
Right.
You were allowed to bring your husband to all the parties?
I mean, I was
Oh,
dating
you were-
him
you
or
were
married
with
to
your
him.
husband. I see.
I'm not saying you gave a lap dance to some other dude. That's not what I'm implying.
Oh,
I'm implying,
I did, and that's not crazy. But go ahead.
Well, I was implying that you did something that people were like, "Holy shit! Did you see what Janine did at
Yes.
last night's Christmas party?"
You have
I
that.
remember something. I'm not
Oh,
gonna
God.
say it.
Because I mean, I can go to our Christmas party from this past weekend and claim something pretty similar.
Yeah, but I don't think it's HR problem.
Should we recap our party?
Go ahead.
I thought it was nice. I liked it. The food was good.
Even though you had to sit next to me, Frank.
Yeah. Why would you think?
Okay.
Okay, let me start there. I showed up late because I had better things to do. And by the time I finally got there, I walked in and I saw Frank and his wife next to Janine and her husband, and I thought, what happened here? How did those two?
Because they showed up.
groups-
Because they also showed up late.
No, we showed up on time.
Me and my wife were there along with a couple of other people, and the only seats that were available are on one end by a giant fire heating thing, or by our giant fire heating thing. Like, you just came down by us.
I chose that. Okay. I
did.
said, you know what?
You had two choices. You chose us.
Thank you.
That's shocking. I would have lost money on that.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
I wouldn't have think you. I would not have thought you would have sat next to Frank and his
Why?
I just don't think she likes
Why?
you.
Because you think that I think Frank hates me?
Yeah,
that's probably it.
I don't think it's that. I think it's more that she'd be worried that like Democrat would get on her somehow.
Did I?
And she wouldn't be able to get it off her.
Oh, I see that. I thought you meant that I would attack her.
I had to wash my whole I scrubbed my body when I got home. Get this lip off me.
She went to her husband afterwards and showed him her shirt and goes, "You think this Democrat's going to come out? I don't know if I could get this fucking..."
There wasn't even no talk like that at all.
No, there was nothing. It was a very friendly night.
I don't know.
We're always friendly.
I couldn't hear anything because we were in a tent with 4,000 people at this super spreader event, and the sound was just bouncing off of these tent walls. That somebody right next to me was talking to me, and I could. Oh, not to mention the fact that it was like the limelight inside. Like then they had this club and this guy fucking performing, and it was just like, like that's all you heard, and loud talking. And
I think you're just old.
Too bad you didn't arrive before us, because me and Frank and his wife and my husband, we didn't have that experience, right, Frank?
We were fine. We were good.
Yeah. No, I was gonna say, and I looked over, and you guys were all chatting it up, and looked like you were able to hear each other, but I could not hear anybody else.
My husband couldn't hear anybody. He said he just nodded most of the night.
Yeah.
The giant table next to us was like, that was a table I think a party bus let out and like went into the back room next to us.
Wait, you did say that?
Yeah, a party bus.
You were serious?
Yeah.
Okay.
And it was like a bunch of just like, they had to be like 10 years younger than us, but they were loud and it was crazy.
I'll be honest, the original location was not like that.
I like that place.
Out in a fucking tent in the middle of a parking lot where I was freezing my ass off?
You were cold? You had to drink a little bit more. I wasn't next to
a heater.
No, you got to drink a little bit more.
Also, the one thing I was grateful for was that it did seem to be a little bit of an air circulation thing happening in that tent, which I think might have saved our lives in retrospect.
I was nice. The only thing is I was sitting up against the tent wall.
Oh, you were freezing.
And I was cold because...
No, your feet were cold.
My feet were freezing because the wind kept coming underneath.
Thank
and
God.
Everything up here from my waist up was nice and warm. I was next to a heater, but right underneath my feet were freezing.
Yeah, it was a little bit of mayhem.
But the food was great.
All right, I'll say this. The food was very good. Again, I thought the food was very, very tasty. Felt a bit expensive for what it was, but I think...
I didn't even know how much we paid.
No, we
I don't think it was that bad.
I thought
Plus, we had an open bar going.
I guess it was the open bar that really kind of pushed it, maybe.
You know, I think it was the right amount.
I don't know. I think that was one of the more expensive ones that we ever...
I don't think so.
Really?
I think we were on track. I think we were all right. Because
I don't know.
You got to figure that the bar, the tip, and the food that we had, it was a lot of good food.
Food was fucking good. And we did have like shrimp and fucking veal and everything. It wasn't like just... Yeah, no, it was good. I will say the food was tasty. Now, if I would have had an opportunity to throw the party that I wanted to have, I mean, it would have been insanely good.
2022 is your year.
Yeah, you're up, Slugger.
Let's see. I feel like I'm in Congress now. I feel like you guys talk a big game out in public, and then when it comes down to it, I'm not allowed to do what I
definitely not
do it.
Have to do.
But what were you gonna say? What you found out about me? I'm sorry, Frank.
What I didn't say I found something out about you,
Anthony.
What'd I say?
You said you found out something about me, and I was like, what? Or did I just make that up?
No, I think you're high.
Okay. Wish.
I don't think I said I found out about it.
Okay.
I am 100% on board with you running the next get together.
Go ahead,
Anthony.
I would love to, because you know how heartbreaking it was for me to cancel on Salt Bay, because that's what my plan. I was going to have him there to season everybody's shit just in case.
I don't like my salt with arm hair. I don't,
Delightful.
That doesn't really do it for me.
It's like Armenian arm hair, though. Does that help at all?
Slightly.
I think it's
but
tastier.
but it's like that I think you're overpaying. I mean, just for him to come out, I think alone is
He was going to comp me
ridiculous.
just for being
Oh,
nice
was he
all
gonna
these
comp you?
years.
What's his real name?
Salte.
Oh, good.
Oh, that's it. So you had a good time, is what you're saying.
I wouldn't say good time. It wasn't as
Okay.
disappointing as I thought it was going to be.
Okay, so then you know what? That's better.
Yeah.
You grumpy bastard.
Again,
Pleasing you.
again, one person shared far too much about their own sexual past than they should have been sharing.
That had
And
to
it
be
wasn't
down on
me.
Your end.
Mm-mm.
Wasn't us.
Nope.
You know who it was.
You know who it was.
Oh, were they related to me?
Every time through marriage, every time I go out, I learn a new piece of
Oh, boy.
Frank's sister-in-law's sexual history.
I don't think I listened. I think every time they start talking, I do one of these. La 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 la. I don't think I think I purposely tuned it out.
Well, I don't even know if you were there because you left 15 minutes into the meal, Frank. That's what I learned.
I knew he was going
We
to
wrapped it up. I left
what he
after we
said.
paid. We were all done. We all stood up and we left.
Did you pay? Because I thought it was so expensive because we had to handle your end because you fucking left so early.
So stupid.
Well, you can handle my end.
Yeah, that's what she said.
Now, honestly, I thought that us talking about the fact that you love to leave early on the podcast so much would deter you and make you stay.
No, it makes me want to leave earlier.
Are you kidding me?
I wanted to
Because-
leave as soon as we got the dessert.
Okay, here's the other thing. We always kind of go out for a drink. Not always, but I would say
Did you?
90% of the time
You went
there's
this
a
time?
drink afterwards. And I honestly didn't even think it was going to happen because everybody looked awfully tired.
Yeah.
And I was kind of juiced up because I drank like a fucking 2 Red Bulls on the way in. And I
Oh
was
my
like,
God.
I was nicely toasted because
You were hammered.
I wasn't hammered. I was drunk. I couldn't drive. My wife had to drive. There was no way I was driving home. But
I was all right.
I was ready. I was ready to go to bed.
Obviously,
I was not going anywhere.
You did not
else.
answer the door. Go ahead.
I couldn't
I
keep
answered the door.
I couldn't keep
Took a
track of
while.
everything, but on your corner of the table, the Janine Frank corner, there was a lot of cocktails going to that corner.
Well,
And not beers, like
one
vodka
of the drinks.
sodas and
One of the drinks took so long they gave us extra.
Yeah.
They came back with a couple more, and we were like, all right.
yeah, you guys
You know
were
what's
drinking
weird, though?
pretty heavily.
I wasn't drinking that much, and I was drunk. I only had 2 whiskey sours, and they
What?
weren't that big. And I started the third one, and I didn't even get halfway through it, and I was drunk, and it
Yeah.
didn't seem that strong either. I felt like I got roofied or something because I was out of it after 2 drinks.
You did sit
know.
next to someone, so
Did you?
Well-
Did you drop something in my drink?
maybe.
I never knew you to drink whiskey sours to begin with. How did that even happen?
A few years ago, I never know what to order when I go to a bar. I'm like, what should, and then one night, a while ago, I was out with my wife, and I asked her, "What do you think? What should I drink?" I have no idea, and she said, "Try this." I tried it, whiskey sour, and I thought it's good because it was sweet. I like sweet drinks, and it was just tasty. So I started drinking those, and
Yeah.
I can get into those.
I was worried because when Frank gets drunk, he gets very anti-Semitic. And
Oh yeah, I
soon to
know.
be
Me
a
too.
That
Jewish
is
party right
absolutely
behind us.
false.
And
That
I
is
was
not true. I do
I
not
was
get
like-
anti-Semitic when I am drunk.
I was
That is
getting concerned. I was like,
ridiculous.
we're
I
gonna have a
get
problem here.
I get very. I
Racist.
feel like I get fun. I get entertaining.
Finally.
I loosen up. Basically, I loosen up a lot more than.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm a loose enough guy already. But when I drink, it amplifies. Like I like to have fun, but when I drink, I get jokey. I'm laughing. I love you. That kind of thing.
He made a funny joke about my parents.
I did.
Yeah, you did.
What did I say?
What did he say?
They're frugal but horny.
Oh yeah,
They're
because
frugal but
well,
horny.
there's a background to that. You brought up something. I don't remember. Like there was a setup to that joke. It wasn't just out of nowhere. You said something like they bought.
No, I said my mom was gonna
Oh.
kill me.
I remember.
Go ahead.
that.
No, go ahead. Go.
That she cuts coupons for lube. That's what you said about your parents. And I said, well, at least they're frugal but horny. I mean, and it landed. It wasn't that
fucking
funny,
died.
but it landed.
Sorry, Mom. Everybody uses lube though, Mom. Sorry.
Yeah, it's a big
That's
industry.
unbelievable. Now, is that part of the foreplay, cutting the coupons for the loop?
No. What happened was
A lot of scissoring going on.
Hey-o.
when I lived at home, there would be certain coupons cut out. And then I used to always embarrass my mother in front of my husband. I used to say, hey, where'd these coupons go? How come they're cut out? And she used to get mad. And now when they come over, I'll cut those coupons out for them and leave them on the table. And then she gets mad again. Stop it, Janine.
But she still takes them.
But she still takes them. My father's like, I'll take it. Thank you.
Good for them. Keep it alive. Keep going.
Well, so anyway, so we were in the middle of dessert, I think, and Frank was, already leaving. In fact, we ran out of place so fast, the table of Jewish people behind us caught fire, and we had to put it out.
Right, that's it.
Cute.
Cute. But then, so we get outside, and we're kind of like,
what do we
I don't know. And I was like very close to being the person, but here's the problem in our particular group of friends. If you suggest something and it goes awry, you will hear about it for the rest of your life.
Right.
Notice how many things I've suggested in the past.
You'll hear, remember we had that great Christmas party and then Aunt said we should go to this bar and then,
you'll never live it down.
You will never live it down. So I'm like, I'm not going to. And I don't even know who said it. In fact, I'm fairly certain one of the men said it. And I think they did it like this. Go for a drink. What? And then I think that's how they fucking brought it up. And then people were like, oh, maybe we should go for a drink.
Did you end up going for a drink?
And then somebody turned around and said, where's Frank and Erin? Do they want to go? And you were already in bed.
I was literally in bed. I said, before we got up and left, I said, we will be in bed before you guys get in your car. Before you guys hit the car. I said that. And I guarantee that's exactly what happened. Because we live a mile away from the restaurant. And we got home in like 2 minutes.
Right. So then the idea was brought up, and I honestly do not remember who brought this up. Oh, was that right? I didn't know.
Let's see.
After the wonderful evening we had, you brought this up.
Let's go to Frank's house and see if he wants to come to the bar with us.
They have these new things called phones. You could just
but you have an Android.
They don't work anymore.
No.
They get texts. They call. You could call it.
So there, 3 cars filled with a lot of people drove to the bad part of town where Frank lives, risked our lives, and then we had to talk Janine down from stealing your Christmas wreath from in front of your house.
Did you know that, Frank?
I had because the next day you texted anybody decide to go back and actually take the wreath.
Yeah.
Let me tell you something. I'm very mad that I don't have it because I still don't have a wreath on my door.
Aha.
Yeah.
I like our wreath too. A little snowman on it. It's nice.
It's lovely. We had to tell her, Janine, please put that down.
I took it off.
You clean off.
No, I know.
Well, you have a camera.
No, there was footage.
No.
It's footage.
There's video
exists.
footage.
Wasn't my footage. It's footage though.
What do you mean it wasn't yours? Whose was it?
It's circulating around. We're keeping it around.
It's going viral.
Yeah.
But you guys, I was in bed, and you guys, and all the lights were out because I was not hammered, but I was drunk, and so I was in bed ready to pass out, and then I hear my doorbell ring and knocking at the door.
So this time you heard it.
We heard it
when I came to bring something to you.
No,
I didn't hear it. I didn't hear anything. But we had the TV on too, so it took a second. We were like, "Is that the?" We were like, "What the hell? Who's ringing that doorbell at this time of night?" It was like 11:30, 12 o'clock. I was like, "Who's ringing the bell?" So we waited, and then it happened again.
By the way, for people that are listening,
who did it first? Because it wasn't me.
10:45.
It was not 10:40. It was close to midnight.
Okay. I did it. Wait, he's such an ass. I did it second. Someone else did it first. Who was it?
I don't know.
I don't know, but all I remember is Frank finally opening the door and
cock out.
His brother completely peeling off down the block.
I saw all of your cars, by the way. Once I realized. Once I heard the door, like I actually realized someone was at my front door. I looked out the window before I even left my bedroom. I looked out the window and said, "Oh, it's these assholes here." And then I went to the front door, turned the lights on. I opened the door, and everybody's in their car, and they all just drove away.
But
But-
one car stayed.
One car stayed.
I thought you were talking to him, Ray.
No, I just waved, and a couple people waved. And I don't
Oh.
even know who waved. I saw arms coming out of cars and waving, and they left. I didn't talk to anybody. But
Well, here's
that's
my
not-
other problem. I had Janine in my car because she decided to Uber to the restaurant.
Are you fucking around?
So then
Nice.
my stupid wife goes, "Why don't you come with us?"
Oh, and you were like, D, shut up.
Now I felt that Janine should still give me the money she was going to give to Uber. And
Yeah,
she
because
didn't.
that's not exactly on the way.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
A little more. It's another direction. It's on the way ish. Nah,
Then she puked in my back seat and
No, I
even have
didn't.
the fucking audacity to leave me a $5 to
Lucky.
go get a
That
clean.
would be funny. That would
look
be
at it,
not
that's all
funny.
she did in your back seat.
Right. Actually,
am.
you don't know what we did in the back seat.
I am.
I have
So-
to tell you something.
Oh, go ahead.
Oh God. I'm
What we did in the
terrified.
back seat. No, it's okay.
What?
What?
My kids sit back there.
I know I had like a Lego up my ass. Go ahead.
So
But that was that. So Frank leaves early again, and then we did find a bar, and you weren't there.
Yeah, because I was the highlight of my evening actually happened after all of this. Because
You got
I was
laid?
No, I wish.
Were you getting laid at the time? I find it hard to
No.
believe that you weren't.
I was drunk, man. I couldn't
Couldn't get
Not-
it out.
No. I just didn't
Oh.
I was ready to pass out. So I passed out. After you guys left, I went back to bed and I was out in about before you guys left the block. So I hit the pillow, I was out. And so bear with me here. I was having a dream
Oh God.
that you, Anthony, were on my couch watching the Metallica concert that was airing that.
Masturbating.
We were watching, and I sat down next to you, but you were laying on most of the couch, and then you put your feet in my face.
Don't look where this is
So, no. What happened was, in my dream, I got up to punch you in the arm. 'Cause you were
No.
being a dick. You can kind of see where this is going.
going. Don't tell me you hit your wife.
No. If she had been lying on my left side, maybe. But I punched again. This happened once before, and it happened again that night. I punched myself out of bed and hit the floor
You're
in the
lying.
middle of the night. It was like 3 a.m.
You're lying.
I swear to God, I am not lying. So I'm laying in bed. My wife's asleep. I'm asleep. And all of a sudden, I'm under the blankets, under the covers, and I just like that. This from here up hits the nightstand, and everything else hits the floor. I
Oops.
woke up on the floor like this, like half on my nightstand, half on the floor, like, oh God. My wife wakes up, Frank, what the hell? I'm like, and I'm still drunk at this
Dog
point.
licking
I'm
your
not,
ass.
it's not out of my system yet. It's 3 a.m.
Huh?
I'm like, what the hell? So I get up, and now I'm up, and we're both hysterical laughing. And it took me like a half hour to fall back asleep. But yeah, I punched myself right out of bed.
Oops.
Thank God I don't sleep in a bunk bed.
You'd be dead.
Yeah, really.
That
Yeah.
would have been a
he's dead.
6-foot drop to the ground.
Nope. Dead.
But
Are you trying to tell me that you really want to hit me though? Does anybody else pull that out of that dream? Because
in that dream, you were a dick. You put your feet right in my face. I was like, not only are you taking up more spots on this couch than you should, but you're putting your feet in my face. And
Yeah,
you were doing
you
it
know what?
because I was
I do
asking you
know
to
it
move
too.
over. I was asking you, come on, move over, man. And then you went, you were being a dick, not like joking around. That would have been fine. But you were like being an actual like, fuck you,
Mm.
And you put your feet in my face. I just wanted to punch you in the arm, just a shot in the arm, just to be like, hey, I'm like, yeah.
I
And
don't
I'm
blame you.
I'm not a violent person. I don't punch anybody in real life. I only do this in my dream, which is crazy. But yeah, punched myself right out of bed. Hit the ground. I woke up on the ground.
Jesus Christ. you got. I don't know how you do that.
Yeah, no, that's the second time I've punched myself onto the ground.
I like it.
Yeah.
We got to get you some help, buddy.
I need, those like those barricades they put on the side of the beds, like for kids that don't roll, so they don't roll out of bed. I need that.
Yeah.
Because I don't know if that would help though. I'd punch right through that thing. I need to be strapped down like a psychiatric patient.
All right. Well, are you sad at all that you missed the?
No.
Okay.
Fill in the blank.
No, definitely not.
No, I'm not.
Can't even.
Sad that I missed what? No, don't care.
Huh? No.
What? That I missed you guys having a drink? No, because I was not ready for another. I couldn't go anywhere else. I was not in the right.
Oh, too bad.
I was not. I was.
No,
ready
we
for
should have
bed.
dragged his ass out. Go ahead.
I wasn't like I remember everything. I was clear headed, but I wasn't. I was also drunk, and I was not able to go out to another place.
You know what I think it is? I think because Frank and his wife don't have kids, and the rest of us have kids, and I think like
You want to stretch it out as long as you can.
I see it in my wife. She's like, we are going out. We're fuck those kids. Like we are gonna have a good fucking. Like Janine was like, Janine took an Uber. Like Janine was ready to fucking party.
Did not fuck around. I made Frank's wife dance with me twice.
That's true.
3 times.
Did that really happen? I didn't see it because
Yes.
that must have been inside.
That was in
where
the
those
other room.
rooms.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. I was like,
Music was good.
Music
Last
was
night.
okay. It was loud. Like, here's the thing. I don't understand why
Crowd.
people are thumping music at a
Restaurant.
sit-down restaurant. People
Yeah.
want to talk to each other.
unfortunately,
Place was busy
a
though.
lot of places are like that now.
I
And you're
don't
like,
get it.
what?
I don't get it.
What? But
You know
that's how it is.
And by the way, there wasn't a mask. In fact, I didn't even say the word mask because I was worried that somebody was going to
There were
beat me
when
up.
Take you
moved
outside.
around, there were masks. But sitting at the tables, there was no masks.
Mm-mm.
Mm-mm.
False.
When you walked
Oh.
inside, nope.
That's why I was like, I swear to you that tent saved our lives.
Plus, there's no mandate in Nassau County.
Right.
There is. They're just not enforcing it.
They're not
Right. Well, that's
enforcing
the
it.
whole thing.
Well, I don't know what's happening now, but that's a whole other situation. But here, I want to get back to the whole, like, Frank doesn't have that. He can go out and be a human being whenever he wants.
It's true.
Like, our time comes a little bit more.
It's limited our time to do that.
right.
Yep.
And that's why
I
think,
take advantage of it. Sorry.
That's-
Any chance I get.
and we want to keep the night going sometimes. And I think
don't
that's why
blame
Frank
you,
is
and I
like, I got to get, but you're always the first to leave. Like, always.
I don't blame you, and I agree with you. That's sometimes I just last night in particular though, I would have stayed. We probably would have went out or something if I felt up to it and we were able.
It was 2 nights
I
ago,
would've-
drunky, but I get what you're saying.
Whatever.
He was like, last night I did something else.
But I have to share this, and she'll kill me. But I have to share it anyway. My wife is still having trouble with her limitations of her old age. 'Cause
No.
we
What do
were
you mean?
on our way to the place, and we have like a neighborhood bar, right by us, and we went once where we saw a pregnant woman drinking
Okay.
Bud Light. And it's this very local towny-ish bar. So where I live, it is super developed, like big school district, modern restaurants, and places to eat, everything like that. But when
Side
you-
question:
yeah,
if you're the bartender and a pregnant woman comes up, that's on him, no? As well as her.
well,
But
not
is
in
he
these,
obligated not to serve her?
not in these towns.
No, definitely
No,
not.
But
in
in
this
anyway,
town, but so my town is old, but like the old part is like in this little area, and in this area is this bar, and that's like the towny bar. But like I feel like 99% of the people do not go to this bar. But anyway, we went when we first moved here as a goof. So a pregnant woman drinking, and I was like, we're never gonna go here again. We're driving to the party, and she goes, "Do you want to go to the bar when we get back?" And I go, "Why?" She's like, "Because we can get like, really drunk, and then we'll get home from like the bar." And I was like, I could also get really drunk in my own house
No, it's not the
and
same.
not have to worry about Ubering.
Not the same.
To which she responds to me, kind of like, because we like Modern Family, and then Phil and his wife and that like to go to the bar and pick each other up. She's like, "What if we went and like we picked each other
Oh
up?"
yeah, I like this.
Oh,
Like,
you're
okay.
starting to role play now.
I go, okay, at least that's what you want to do. My wife fell asleep 2 minutes into the ride home and snored the entire way home.
You didn't wake her up and drop her off at the bar and say, "Honey, come on, you're up. Let's go."
I'll be honest, I don't remember much of the ride home.
Yeah, you had a lot to drink as well.
I did.
Hey,
Wow.
it was open bar, and it's weird. I only had two and like a quarter drinks, and I don't know why, but it hit me.
I wonder why.
I think you were. I honestly, in my heart of hearts, think she gave you a roofie.
Someone gave me something.
Yeah, I know you're saying someone, but let's be honest. It is. If that happened, it was definitely Janine. Because it was not your wife, I don't think.
No, because it didn't work. Because I didn't give it up.
Nope.
I went right back.
In fact, it was the complete opposite.
I hit the pill. I was like, I'm good.
Yeah.
You're on your own
J-Sabs,
tonight.
do you have any thoughts on the evening? Did you say
No.
you had something to say? I can't remember now.
No, I thought it was good. I thought you were just going to say something about just me stealing. Like, Oh, because my husband. Because you said something in the group chat about a certain couple likes to steal things and maybe that's their thing.
Oh, yeah. What was that?
Oh, yeah. Oh, Janine's husband steals every last mint.
Oh, the mints.
out of the little mint thing on the way out of the fucking plane.
That's true. He must have got out of there with like 20 mints.
Yeah, we literally filled it up at home.
I got to the outside and I literally go, where's Frank? And then he hits me like this and goes, you want a mint? Like somebody's offering me drugs. And I'm like, no, I could have grabbed my own mint on the way out if I really wanted one of those.
He's such a weirdo.
And he's like, they're so good.
Yeah, he likes those mints.
Those are good mints. And to be
Fucking
fair,
weirdo.
the bowl in that place with the mints was gigantic. They had
and he took a lot.
in there.
Yeah, and he
Individually wrapped.
basically replicated it. Can I show this, Janine?
Dead.
He replicated it at his own house.
Yeah. There you
He
go.
got his own bowl of mints going.
Those are the good mints. Those are those candy cane looking mothers. Those are good.
Yeah. Also, why does it say 27 days till Christmas? This photo was taken yesterday.
We have not changed that.
Yeah.
Obviously.
Just
What's
get rid
wrong
of
with
it.
you?
Just been a little busy, That's it.
What?
You too busy for that?
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Take the little cube out, turn it, put it back in.
That's it.
It's the math is the problem.
Yeah.
Also, let me just point out that once you hit the 20th, you only have to move, or the 10th, you only have to move one of the cubes.
That's true. That is true.
Yeah.
Darn it.
It doesn't seem like it's that
No.
complicated.
It's the math. The math is the problem.
Right.
It's 20.
Hey.
For me too. I don't have anything with that. On purpose, because I'm not sitting there going, how many days
Right.
left? I can't.
What do you go ahead?
Another highlight was us taking pictures of each other and then sending it to each of us.
We're all sitting at the same table,
Right.
sending each other pictures of us.
First of all, Frank's brother started that, who looked completely miserable
No, he didn't.
to be there.
You think so?
That's not true at all.
He's so miserable, so much to the point that like when we went to the bar afterwards, he was literally like, "I'm not even going to sit at your table."
Yeah, and then I went to go sit with him.
Yeah.
He didn't look miserable at the dinner.
Well, I kind of got a feeling that he was miserable because he leaned over to me one point and said, "I'm completely miserable and I want to go home."
Did he really say
I think you're reading
No.
too much into that.
that? You might be
It's
reading a
God's
little
honest
too much.
truth. It's the God's honest truth.
You're reaching,
No, he
Anthony.
didn't.
You're reaching.
I mean, I understood. I wanted to go home too at some point. I didn't.
Why do you think I left early?
Right.
And it wasn't early. We paid the check, and everybody was standing up to leave. We just got out of it first.
First of all, a couple of us pay a lot of people paid in cash. A couple of us paid with a credit card. I don't even think I got my thing back to sign, and you were already gone.
To be fair, I wanted to go home.
And he says it again. Oh my God.
That's amazing to me. He just doesn't care. It
Right.
just doesn't matter.
Do you guys like me any less?
He's not afraid of missing out on anything. He's not
No.
afraid of offending anybody.
I wish
It
I had that.
doesn't matter.
I wish I
I
had
said
that.
goodnight. I said I gotta go.
But here's
Plus,
the
I was
kicker.
drunk. If I wasn't drunk, I would have.
That's a lie because you leave when you're sober too.
That's true.
Here's the kicker. We have a friend who really leaves whenever the hell he wants. I mean, just leaves. Joe. You all know.
Mhm.
Okay. Our friend, he moved away. He comes back and visits, and it's a little different now. But he would just leave. By the way, he wouldn't. This guy was so great. He would not say goodbye or, "Oh, I gotta go," or make an excuse.
You just go.
He would get up and walk
Smart.
out of the room, and sometimes not even turn around and give like a wave. He would just walk out.
And I gotta
And
tell you,
Frank would marvel at this and be like, I can't stand this guy. Like, what is he doing? And now you've turned into him.
It doesn't affect how we all feel about him. He's still our friend, and we're not like this dickhead. We're like, all right, whatever. It's him. That's just him being him.
I say that all the time. I don't know what you're talking about.
Well, you said that before he started leaving early.
All right, Janine, anything else on our friend's party?
Nothing, but I'm gonna be honest. Can I be honest here?
Sure.
No.
I think I caused a little bit of panic last night.
You did.
You did.
That's
in your
true.
household too?
Oh yeah.
All right, I will tell you. Do you want to say what happened, and I'll tell you my version of it?
Go ahead.
You say what happened.
We have to say what, you have to tell everybody.
And I said, go ahead. So my father was supposed to have surgery today, and he had to get a COVID test before surgery, like everybody does. On Friday, he took it, and the doctor called last night and said, did you ever have COVID? And my father was like, no. And he goes, well, you tested positive for it. And my father was like, they didn't mean I tested positive, but that in his accent.
Mm-hmm.
So my mom calls me, and I was like, wait, what? And we had seen them earlier in the week on Tuesday. And I was like, oh my God, like, I mean, yes, it's been a while, but so scrambling to get a test. You could not get one in person at all. There was no appointments until the 27th of December.
It's insane. Yeah, everything's booked up.
The walk-ins are 2 hours to 6 hour long waits. There are no tests there's no over-the-counter test either in the stores. So I was supposed to work at my daughter's school this morning, and I told the woman last night, like, what do you want to do? I said, I have no symptoms. And she said she had a test. So I drove to her house. She lives 2 minutes from me. She left me the test on her front step, and I took it, and I was negative. And I was like, okay, well, but I was like, how do I word it with these special group of people?
Hey, if the test is negative, you don't have to.
Well, can I tell you something? My wife goes, did you see the text message? And I go, no. And she's like, oh. And that drives me crazy. Just tell me what the fuck is happening. So she goes, Janine's father has got COVID. And I was like, okay.
So does he actually? He does have it?
I swear to God, I thought something happened to somebody. Because the way and then when she started with Janine's father, I was like, oh, I remember the surgery right away. And she's like, oh, he's got COVID. And I was like, oh, okay. I'm like, is he okay? Yes. Janine was with him on Tuesday. And then I got very angry.
Did you really?
Very angry. It was a fleeting 3.5 seconds before she said that you got tested and were negative. But in that 3.5 seconds, I hated you and also my wife for letting it go out that long.
Why would you hate me? It was just an automatic hate. Like it wasn't a rational hate. It was an irrational hate.
It's all irrational because
no.
I could catch it, give it to you. You can catch it, give it to me. It could be Frank. It could be anybody. It could be whatever freak circumstances. But if somebody were to give this fucking thing to me and it ruins my Christmas, I'm going to be automatically pissed off at that person, no matter who it is.
That's true.
And I thought it was you in those 3 seconds, and I was very angry with you. Very, very angry.
Oh my God.
Yes.
And your wife told me that nobody was mad. Oh, she lied to me.
Well, no, I don't even know if she knew I was angry.
Oh, okay.
But in my head, I thought, I cannot believe this fucking piece of shit. And then as that's coming in my head, as that's coming out, she was like, but she got a test and she's negative. And I was like, oh, all right.
Yeah.
Across the street.
Fantastic.
Can you move out of the way?
That was it.
Frank?
All good. I'm glad you tested negative. No, you said you tested negative, and that was great. Your dad, is he all right?
Yeah. Just has a stuffy nose, but the thing is, he always has a stuffy nose. So
I don't give a shit. I could care less.
Can I ask? Is he vaccinated?
oh yeah, he is.
Yeah, they're vaccinated.
Okay.
Yep.
That's good.
It's weird. A vaccinated person. No, I'm just kidding.
Well, it's a breakthrough.
No,
This is what I love what the media is doing right now.
No, that's
Well,
good.
you know that.
There's a breakthrough case. No,
No, you
No,
can
they're
still
all-
get it.
they
You
can't
can
all be breakthrough.
No, they can't be.
Well, that's what it's called when you vaccinate and you get it.
Okay, all right, but I mean, they're making it seem like, despite the fact that they're vaccinated, it's
Yeah,
like
you
what?
can still
That-
get it. It's just the effects are less.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
Can I be honest with that?
No.
I think that even though they did say you could still possibly get COVID if you get the shots, they didn't put a big emphasis that you could still get it.
Yeah,
I think that's a real big,
That was in a smaller size font.
yeah.
That
it
was-
like,
bottom of the
right.
page.
I feel like they said that you could still get it. It's not gonna.
Yeah, but they didn't put a
it's not
big
gonna affect you.
emphasis on it.
Did that have mattered to you?
Not me, but to vaccinated people, it probably would have.
Okay.
No, really, to vaccinated people, I think that if they
No, I knew.
drilled it in people's heads a little bit more instead of people just being, I think that what they said was, what they tried to drive home was that you won't die from it. That was their big,
Yeah, you won't be in the hospital.
selling
Won't put you in the
point.
hospital.
that wasn't their, that wasn't
That
their
was the point.
concern so much.
Yeah, it was. You'll get it. You could get it, but you won't be in the hospital. It'll be mild symptoms.
And honestly, when I was like, okay, well, I have to send this. And I was like, all right, let's see who is gonna like put me on the death wish list right
I think
now.
I hope you get it and die. I mean, that's never been a secret.
Right.
But I think that I think you're waiting for one of us to be upset.
Oh no, I think everyone's pissed off, but they don't really want to say it.
No,
But
you're
why
good.
would we? You didn't do anything.
I don't know. It's like, but for the reason you just said, like, oh, now this person's gonna ruin my Christmas.
But I would have had the same reaction if it was Frank or
Fucking Val.
That's why I said it's irrational. It could have, it could.
It is a red, but
didn't
still.
matter who it was. I was just going to be angry at that person when I know full well it could be me giving it to somebody else.
Yeah, you're just angry at the situation.
Yeah.
That's all right. You're
I
allowed.
mean, I would be especially angry if it was any one of you that I knew, because I would just be like, "See, I knew it."
Even more.
This
Fucking
piece of shit.
asshole. Yeah. Yeah. Basically, that's basically it. I have to bring this up because I know people are going to throw it at us. I did listen to the Joe Rogan, Dr. McCullough podcast.
Oh,
It is very interesting. I don't have any conclusion after listening to this thing for 2.5 hours. Obviously, people
listen
who
to it.
are in favor of the vaccine are probably not going to love it. In fact, one listener told me, did we talk about this already?
I don't know.
What?
A listener wrote me and said that she was not going to listen anymore because I praised Joe Rogan.
Oh yes, you
Yeah,
did
you
say it.
said
Yeah.
that.
I
Yeah.
did
didn't-
this? Okay.
Praise
You just talked about it. It's not
I
like
just
you're
said
like all
he got-
hail Joe Rogan.
He did this first, and now we're doing it, and it's nice. That's all I said.
That's it.
But anyway, I listened to this thing, and McCullough put some interesting arguments out there. I don't know if I believe him all the way 100%. I can't say that he was completely irrational. He did cite a lot of things, sources, and ideas. We were going to talk about it last episode. We didn't. I decided not to talk about it this episode because I feel like the idea came up of like he is so on one side of this issue, this Dr. McCullough, and Joe, to his credit, even though I disagree with some of the things that he's done, he said, if I brought somebody in on the other side, would you sit here and have a debate with them? And he said, yes. I find that to be interesting. And
Yeah.
I think that would be something that'd be worth
Right.
covering. So I know people are going to be like, did you hear this? Did you see it? We saw it. It's not that we're not talking about it, but I'm sure we'll get to it at some point. Which reminds me, Tuesday night, time TBD. We will tweet it. We will put it on Facebook. We will put it. Where else can we put it? On YouTube.
YouTube.
Yeah, we'll put it out on all the places. We're going to tape our Christmas FESTIVUS special. Fun show. We're going to talk about favorite Christmas memories, gifts, things going, happy stuff.
We're gonna keep it positive, nothing negative.
Right.
Listen, I like negative. Like, oh, can I also add before people at me about the at-home test?
Well, let me finish.
Oh,
Let me
go
just
ahead,
finish
go
this
ahead,
promo.
go ahead, go.
So if you want to be on the show, again, on all the social media accounts for the podcast, we're going to tweet out like a link that you would click, and then you will literally be on the show with us. And then you can
How cool.
Audio. Yeah.
You're welcome.
You can share your favorite Christmas moment, memory. You can ask us any questions you'd like. There's not going to be a combative, like, what do you think now, Frank? That kind of shit. We're gonna
Frank.
We're gonna release. Well,
All right.
we're gonna release this episode on Festivus on Thursday. It'll be our holiday episode, and I'm sure people will catch up to it on Friday and maybe take it into the holiday weekend with them. So it is going to be. We got a product test to do.
Yes.
We got a couple other fun, happy topics that we're going to discuss.
Yeah, it's gonna be a lighthearted, fun,
Yeah,
episode, and that you could be a part of, either through video,
right.
or just audio, whatever you want.
And keep this in mind, right? You can come on the show if you don't want to be seen. Don't allow access to your camera. Like if you click on it on your cell phone, or your computer, or your iPad, or whatever.
Yeah,
Don't allow access to the microphone, to the camera.
Right.
Just allow access to the microphone. If you want to be on camera, be on camera.
Right. And remember, it has to be in between the times that we're going to post.
Yes.
And if you try to get into the show outside of those times, obviously you're not going to have any.
It's not going to work.
Right.
But if you try and get on the show and it says it's full or it's busy or whatever, keep trying. Like, or try again, in 10 minutes.
Yeah, because we're going to rapid fire. We're going to go through it. You're not going to be on the show the whole episode. No. We're going to, try to get as many people on as we can.
Yeah, that's
we'll
what
go through
said.
as many people as we can. I'm not gonna lie to you. If it sucks or it's lame, we gotta pull. We're gonna pull out of it quick.
Give us your.
That's what she said.
Stories. Try to give us your interesting stories.
Yeah, right away. Good, fun stories.
Yeah.
Or if you have questions for us, you're more than welcome to ask us questions or give thoughts on something. I would doubt this is gonna be a vax political. There's not going to be. Please don't ask those questions. Not on this episode.
Yeah, we're trying to keep it
fun,
family friendly.
Yes. Go ahead, Janine, about your at-home test.
Oh, I said.
Wait, now was it a COVID test or a pregnancy test?
God,
I want to clear that up.
I don't know which one I would want to be more negative.
Your husband walks in the room. Why you got a pregnancy test up your nose? What's going on here?
If you're pregnant, 3 homeless men show up on the thing.
Who's the father?
Right.
This sounds like a good show.
So your COVID test.
At home COVID test.
Mm-hmm.
I did go for a PCR and rapid tonight. I don't know how I got it, but there was one opening that was 40 minutes from me, actually about 2 minutes from Anthony's house.
Get out.
I'm like, guess I'm going here. Wow. Even though they have a location that's literally 4 minutes from me, but there was nothing left. I said, you know what? I put it in. And then I was like, should I go? Should I not go? And I'm like, you know what? Let me just go and do it. So I got those tests done too.
And the rapid test said?
Obviously positive.
Oh, good.
Negative, obviously.
Okay. And then you're waiting for the longer one.
Yeah.
Okay.
What's she saying to you?
Anthony's muted his microphone because he's talking to his wife.
Yep.
Maybe we could talk about him now if you want. I don't think he's paying attention.
But honestly, I talked to like 3 healthcare people, and they said that I really didn't need the test because the at-home one was fine because I tested 5 days after exposure.
Yeah, that's what I said too. Because you would have been positive if you had it.
Right.
For sure.
So
I can't believe you came out by me to get a PCR test.
Yep.
It's the only thing available.
Wait, hold on. My wife is here. Did you give Janine a PCR test? Is that what happened?
I got the anal one. So
did you give her the anal PCR test? That's the rumor going around.
I wish.
My wife came up with breaking news that the NHL is allegedly going to pause their season on Wednesday.
Boom.
Which is pretty much accurate since I bought my tickets to
of course
the first Islander game in the new arena on Thursday.
Merry Christmas.
You were gonna go to an Islander game on Festivus?
On Fest. Well, that's why we were pre-recording the episode. Well, we could get the people in, and then we can, it all worked out.
I gotta go
perfectly.
because I gotta take my 4th COVID test to satisfy everybody in the group.
Go ahead, keep us updated there, Janine.
Are you done?
Yeah, we're done. Are you, Frank? We didn't get to your umbrella story. You want to save it?
Let's save it.
Is it a happy story? Can we make it a Festivus story, or should we
Yeah,
just do
it's
it
fine.
on the
It's
Wednesday?
just a weird.
episode?
It's just a weird thing. It's not really a story. It's just a weird thing about the umbrella.
Okay.
But we could save it.
Should we do that? on the holiday
That's true.
episode?
That's true. Robots
Bye.
can reproduce now.
Stay tuned. Follow Twitter, Facebook, so you can see the code if you want to be on the show. And again, don't be like, "Oh my God, I'm on the show." No, if you click the thing, you're going to be on.
You're gonna be on.
You can't be surprised that you're like, "I didn't
Well,
get
if
my."
you're
Make
let
sure
in.
your cocks are in, not out.
Thank you, Janine. Also, no nudity, please. I will say that we can see a preview, so if you're naked, we will not let you on.
Yeah, no trench coats too, because we know that trick.
Yeah, because of me.
Right.
Catch you guys in the next episode. Thanks so much for watching and/or listening.